No matter how many times and no matter how many buildings we build, like no matter what, it's going to be here. And those are the only things that we can count on. Those are the things we can count on because with or without us, they stay. And that's the stuff we should be looking at, not the stuff that depends on our existence, our thoughts, in order for it to be here. Because those things, that's how we know those are wayward and they can change. Because my thoughts change constantly. I mean, I might love you today and I don't even know you tomorrow. I mean, you never know. It's
Right.
certain stuff. A lot of people are like that. I'm not saying that's for me true. I'm just saying it's a possibility and it's something that I felt as though I could be able to say. And so it's
Yeah.
that. You know, and you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
You
It's
get
a
the
good
changes.
example.
Very good
It's
example
really
because
good.
that's how people treat people. That's the life we live in. These kids nowadays, it's like no love, YOLO, and then they want to rob you. And I mean, like, it makes you not want to talk to anyone. It's like, you know what? Just stay in your corner. But if you stay in your corner, guess what? That's me harvesting your power again. If I stay in my corner and I stay away and I'm not doing my job, guess what? I'm punishing myself. And the universe is punishing me because have I not told you that you have to do this? Have I not told you that this is what has to be done? And I'm in the house having a spiritual quote unquote battle with myself. Really, is it myself though? No, because we're connected to everything. I could sit here, shut up, and listen to you louder with you talking and me not saying anything than I can by any word that you say. Most people that know me know this. They know that I can do this. I've done it on several occasions. And that's one of the things to where people get intimidated. But I'm like, hey, I don't want to do this so you. It's like my friends. I don't like reading your minds. I don't feel like listening to you. They talk to me. You should be able to talk to me. But that makes it difficult because when you're not talking to me or you're hiding something or lying, it's like, "Oh, I already know." So I act according into my understanding because now you're not going. I know you're not going to communicate because I already read it. I've already seen you. I've already understood that this is where we're going to be with this. So I don't have to hear it from you. And if you were going to do something different, I would have heard it from you, and then I would have been able to reconstruct my thought process. But I'm unable to because you're showing me that what I thought is what it is. And so this is just how we move because everything again starts with a thought. It
Yeah.
literally, if we could just change the way we think, we can change this whole entire world. But we're afraid to change the way we think
Well,
because
see,
then we have to actually think.
for me, one thing that I had to learn was this whole thing about control and manageability. Okay, like, and every single person seems to have this idea that they control shit. You know what I mean? And the truth of the matter is like there's very little that humans can actually control. Like me as a single person, I have literally no control over things. Like I can put a seed in the ground, but I can't make that seed grow. You know what I mean? I can give it water, but I can't make that seed grow. Now that seed is
Have
gonna
you
have.
ever seen a Dr. Emoto's experiment?
Mm-hmm. But you
You
know,
ever heard of him, Dr. Emoto? He did it
no.
with water crystals. What you're saying improved the exact opposite.
Okay. Well,
Well, it's an
that's
experiment, and he did it like I said with glitter crystals. You
that's
can
just
grow.
one. That's just one example. Okay, and it's like um, when you're dealing with other people, for example. Okay, and like with your kids or with your family. Okay, and you have all these disagreements and arguments and everything. What I basically learned is like you can prevent all of those arguments from being a part of what you are by just saying, look, I have no control over those people. Now, what usually happens, though, being the people that we are, is we want to get involved in it and we want to try to be movers and shakers and try to change people. You know, and the truth of the matter is I can't change you and I can't change my sister or my brother or anybody else. What I can do is I can accept them for who they are, and I'd live a better life by doing that. You know what I mean?
You
And
have to accept everyone where they're at.
right,
Everyone. You can never expect to change anyone. If you go into anything thinking you're going to change someone, then you've already gone into it with the wrong mentality, and you're the only one who has to have the change, requires the change. The
no,
truth
no,
of the matter is, you're supposed to vibrate on a frequency that encourages people
no.
to would like to.
I can change myself. You see what I mean?
Right,
I have the
right.
ability to change myself. But this
And
kind
how
of
you deal with people, because when
this
you're on certain frequency levels, you're not going to be able to even balance with other
this kind of
people.
goes back to what you were talking about before too. Like it's about internalizing and not externalizing. You know what I mean? Like you don't get your power from outside of yourself. Okay, and
No, it's a complete cipher.
it's an inside job is basically what it is. Okay, like when I'm having frustrations and I'm having painful experiences and everything, there's a good chance I'm the one that caused it because I allowed myself to think a certain way, and when I thought that way, things didn't work out my way. Things didn't go according to my plans. You know, expectations is another thing. We have a lot of these expectations, and that's where the manageability comes into play. You know what I mean? We're going to manage shit. We're going to make things happen. And the truth of the matter is manageability is what got me into most of the trouble that I've been in most of my life, is because thought I could manage people, places, and things. You know, like
See, and then that, okay. See, and so for me, it's the opposite. I'd rather not have to deal with anyone. Me personally, I would like everyone to have it together and understand how to act and be and do and on their own. Well, you cannot say how certain one is supposed to act, blah, 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 blah. No, you can. There's a standard of existence in which we're supposed to uphold. And it's a standard to which if you don't, if anything of this act that you would think about committing, if it was to happen to anyone that you hold dear to you, regardless, if it's unacceptable for just even one, the smallest one of the one, or the biggest one of the one, whichever one, if it's unacceptable for one, then it's unacceptable for all. If you can sit here and say the action that you're doing, no matter if it's done to anyone that you care, if you can say that this is okay, it's acceptable, that's how you understand you're living high quality. That's a high quality individual. That's a high quality standard of existence. You don't ever think about changing other people because, see, this is what it is. We are in control. And no one is in control of you except for your submission. Your submission is your control, in your control. That was your choice to say, you know what, I can't do anything about it. I'm just going to leave it and accept it for what it is. Absolutely. Everyone. But is it righteous, or is it a reality for everyone? No, absolutely not. Because what if Batman said that? I understand Batman doesn't exist. That was a far-fetched example. Excuse me. I apologize. I had to throw a little bit of my humor because I feel like this is the most serious I've ever. I know. Now I wrote Batman in, and now you got to reconstruct your whole thought process, right? No. But it's like, but seriously though, like if I know I don't doubt it. I'm Batman. No, I'm Batman. No, I'm Batman.
I'm listening.
Right? Okay, like let me get myself control. But no, seriously. So if you are sitting here and you're like, I don't have any control over that, you've already let go of your power. Who cares? You're right. You don't have any. I do. I do. That makes it that much stronger. These people giving up their power is automatically giving it up to something that believes it has that power. It's automatic. It's an automatic response. You don't have it. Okay, I do. I know I do. You understand why I know I do? How do you know you do? Because I can feel it. How do you feel it? I sat outside. I went out. I rain danced. I talked to the moon. No, you didn't do that. Yes, I did. That's how I did that. There was no amount of money. My mom's a doctor. I grew up, like I said, we have a movie theater in the house at home. Well, in Jersey, it's not home anymore because no, we're not in that type of level. But my mom, she, when I say like I grew up with money, I know what it's like to have money and have experience. Like when the expedition came out, we were the only people to have an expedition. She pays cash for it. She just goes to the dealer and pays cash for an expedition. Gets into an argument with the Lincoln expedition people. Like I grew up in the lifestyle that everyone elevates and, oh, you're whack if you don't want to live like this. I get it. I know I'm whack then. Because honestly, truth be told, I see what it does to people. I lived it. And then I got told and moved to do something different. I got told, hey, that's important for what it's important for, but everything has a role, and our ultimate power lies within our connection to the ultimate source. That's how we're able to continue empires. That's how we're able to reconstruct entire thought processes, because releasing those obligations and those demands of or expectations of materialism creates us. We have to fill it with something. Energy cannot be created nor destroyed. If I'm used to gabillions of dollars, but I don't have gabillions of dollars, I'm going to have to have gabillions of energy. It has to be replaced. What's it going to be replaced? Whatever I say, it's going to be replaced. Why? Because we're going to decalcify. We're going to decalcify so we understand what we replace it with. How do we decalcify? We're going to go outside. We're going to touch some grass. We're going to listen to that voice that we shut up. You know, because
Mm-hmm.
honestly, that's your God. That's you. That's your guide. We have spiritual guides. That's why that book I said, highly recommend. We all are given spiritual guides. We're taught to ignore those voices. We create diseases that can make us money because we have monetized your power. You understand? We sell melanin for up to $550 a gram. We sell it because it's powerful. There's a lot of powerful in that brown stuff there. And it's crazy. Yeah, and it's crazy. That's why we still little melanin babies more than we still, and I'm not saying that's why. That's why we steal them, we sacrifice them, especially if their name is God. Because honestly, that's the truth. And obviously we prove it. So it's just to the point to where you say that you don't have control, but you're the only thing that has control. If you release your control, you're definitely giving anything that's knowledgeable of how much control you actually have
Well,
power
you,
and say to use it.
the thing about control is tricky because a lot of people have a misunderstanding of what control really is. Okay, like um, when it comes to uh, being powerless, for example. Okay, um,
Wait, can you define powerless for me,
the
please? Please,
powerless
first, because you got to start slow for me. Yeah.
powerless means that you literally don't have control over anything but what you do. Okay, and your
What?
actions. So whenever it comes to being powerless, you literally are in a place where you have to say, look, I'm powerless over you, I'm powerless over this, I'm powerless over that. Okay, but I do have power and control over myself. I dictate
See,
how.
I don't understand how that's powerless. How is it not more powerful to have ultimate control over yourself? Because if you have ultimate control over yourself, then that means no one else does. And most likely, if you harvest yourself and your energy correctly, a lot of people wish they had that power, putting you in power. Because now people are coming to you for your powerless self because they lack that power. What you mean you're not going to let me control you? You're not going to let me boss you around? How do you do that? How do you feel as though you're important enough to say you don't have to listen to me? Where does this thought process come from? What does that not create the power that you're saying it's absent of the person without the power? Like that doesn't make I made you interested in me not having any power, but still standing here. That's power within itself.
You
Getting
see,
you to even notice.
you see when it, I'm talking about on an individual level. Okay, you're powerless. I'm powerless to making a tree
Never accept reality
making a
for
tree.
yourself.
You see what? No, I mean seriously. Can you make a tree grow, or does
Yes.
now hold
Not
on?
like okay,
Now hold
okay,
on.
okay, okay. Hold on, hold
Let's
on. Let me
break
be
this.
fair. You
Does
mean
the
just like
does
snap my fingers, make a tree grow, magic? No,
does the
I'm not
water
that powerful yet.
or does the water make the tree grow? Does the sun make the tree grow? Does
Or does
the
the tree make the tree grow? Does
Yeah,
the will to live make the tree grow? I think it's that.
you see, and that's within that tree itself. I don't have the power to do that. All I can do is I can plant the seed, and from that point on, it's up to the tree. You see what I mean?
And then you have to ask the question: if you do not plant the seed, does the tree not grow? Well, where did
Mm-hmm.
you get the seeds from? You got it from the trees that were here before, right? The trees were here before us. The tree does not need us to grow. I
Right.
mean, does it help? Yeah, absolutely.
You see, but there's people who believe that they have the power to dictate if that tree can grow or not, and change it and manipulate it and do everything, and they don't understand that that's just misplaced freaking belief. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Government does it.
it's like if
The
I run
government does it.
now when you go outside and you freaking feed birds, all right? You feed birds and you put the feed down and they come and they eat it. Now, if you keep doing that on a day-to-day basis, those birds will come and they will eat that food. It's and the reason why they're doing it is because they're hungry and they want to eat. It's not because you're controlling them. You're just training them to freaking come and eat that food on a day-to-day basis.
Oh,
And
oh, wait a minute. Hold on. I'm just what?